Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and first of all, Happy New Year! I can't believe we're in the year 2023 right now. That is just crazy. But now that it is the year 2023, we can start to think about whether or not Coral Island will be fully releasing this year. There is information that points to, yes, this is the year of the full release, and there is other information that says we're going to be waiting until 2024 for the full game. So today, I wanted to go over everything that we know so far about the timeline of the game, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a better idea of when to expect the full version of Coral Island. Is it going to come out this year? Or is it going to be next year? Let's see. So first and foremost, if we look at what the team themselves have stated about the timeline for early access, they have noted that they expect the process of early access to take about 1 year. And they made this statement both on their Steam page as well as on their website when they initially shared the early access roadmap, and this blog post was made in October. So according to this statement, we should be expecting to see the full version of Coral Island by the end of this calendar year with some wiggle room, right? If we take it 1 year from October, brings us right back to October 2023, but they did say about 1 year, so we have wiggle room of November and December that technically this game could come out before the end of this year. However, we also have additional information that is very important, and that is the roadmap. It doesn't give specific dates, but we can get an idea of basically what needs to happen for all of this content to get pushed out before the end of this year. So in the roadmap, there are 10 updates. However, I'm not going to be counting the multiplayer update because that is supposed to come post-launch, and I'm just talking in this video about the 1.0 version. So without the multiplayer update, there are 9 content updates to expect between when early access initially launched until the full 1.0 release. So if you divide 12 months in the year by 9 content updates, we should be expecting to see a new content update every month and a half. So this game launched on October 11th, and we received our first update, the feedback update, around December 8th. So that was a 2-month time period between the release to the first update. So we can't really establish a trend based off of one single update, but in theory, if each update were to be spaced apart 2 months from each other, then we could expect the full version 18 months from the initial launch into early access, which would bring us to April of 2024. There are a couple caveats with this though. First is that in the feedback update, while it wasn't stated on their website or on their Discord anything about this, on the actual in-game patch notes, it said that this is part 1 of the feedback update. So I don't know still if that is accurate or not. If that was just half of the first content update and we're going to receive part 2 still, then that pushes our timeline back even further. The other thing to consider is that the feedback update likely was more unpredictable to the team than the future updates. Because this was an update literally grounded in player feedback, they could only plan so much for it. These other updates to come, they've most likely already planned exactly what's going to be a part of them, bug fixes and extra feedback updates aside. But in terms of the actual content for, say, the spring update, the tree planting festival, they've been working on this festival for a long time now. They know what's coming for the festival. They have, bathing suit designs ready. They have probably more clothing and decor that they've been working on. We can see it in the developer diaries. They've been working on all of these things in future updates for quite some time now. So most likely the content for future updates is more prepared and ready to go than what was a part of the feedback update. Because the feedback update, yes, they could speculate like perhaps there will be some feedback about storage. We can assume that maybe players will give feedback about the diving experience and maybe some like UI features. Like they could have speculated and had a general idea of what sort of feedback they might receive from players, but they didn't really know until the game was launched into early access. So I'm saying this because there is a chance that this specific update took the 2 months to be delivered because they basically had to wait the first however many weeks to actually receive the feedback and then implement it. So to reiterate, we can't really establish a trend based off of one update, and especially with the nature of this update, but these are all just things to consider as we try to figure out if Coral Island is going to come out this year. If you look at just the timeline alone, the roadmap, the kind of content they need to get out, you might think there's no way they're gonna get all this out in a year. There's no way it's coming out by October, not even December of this year. They have a lot to do still. And you could be right. But if you look at the developer diaries on their Discord, and I would love to continue and resume my Coral Island Diaries series so we can actually see exactly where they're at in development with what they're working on, you can see that they're working on stuff that's like supposed to come quite further down the line in releasing the content. So that leads me to believe that they actually have a lot prepared behind the scenes. You know, I think they're further ahead in development than it might appear from our end. So I'm still hopeful that the game could come out before the end of this year, or at least we could get to that like end game and marriage update is kind of what I'm hoping. So I definitely think it is more than doable for the team to release the game this year. But at the same time, they're not going to stamp the game as finished until they are happy with it and the community is happy with it. And they have stated that many, many times. And because they are so responsive to player feedback and they want to shape this game alongside the community, that definitely can mean that there will be further delays and the final release date will get pushed back because they want to create an amazing game that everyone's happy with, or as happy as everyone can be with it, right? And that's kind of the trade-off, right? And I think that's an amazing trade-off. I will wait extra months, even an extra year, in theory. Not saying that's what it's going to be, but I would wait longer to have this experience of shaping the game as a community versus the team just saying, you know, this is what it is, this is how we like it, and that's that, right? I think it is so amazing that Stairway is so considerate of how the player plays the game and what we want to see in it. They've added so many features already just because of us, because of what we want, and that's going to make an amazing game even more amazing, and that's going to add longevity to the game. It's going to build trust in the community between players and the team, and it's definitely just going to establish Coral Island as a more long-term title that's going to be played like over the years to come versus one that people will pick up and burn through and then never touch again. One other thing I actually wanted to note that I think is really important when we're looking at timelines and trying to figure out when Coral Island will fully release is that Stairway Games actually very recently on December 22nd put out a call that they're hiring. So they're hiring a ton of new talent. They're hiring an audio programmer, a multiplayer programmer, 4 gameplay programmers, a narrative writer, quality assurance, a technical animator, a game animator, a UI artist, a foliage artist, a sound designer, a VFX artist, and a level artist. So that is a total of 15 new team members. Factoring that into the equation of this timeline we're trying to calculate, that is definitely going to expedite things, having more hands on deck. So I think this is only good news for the game and for those of you who are really waiting to play it, either for it to come to console or just to wait for the full release so you get the full experience. I do think this is very promising. So all that being said, if I had to actually stake a bet on whether or not Coral Island was going to come out this calendar year, so 2023. At this point, I would say no. I would say that it would be coming out early 2024 for the full release, but I would say that we would have most of the game's content by the end of this year. However, given all of the factors we've discussed today, so 15 new team members being hired, and the nature of the first update, I would feel more comfortable actually making a prediction once we've received the next 2 updates. I think once we've received the spring and the summer update, I think by then we'll have like a much better idea of when to expect a full release by. Of course, this is all subject to change, and even this roadmap may change. Like, they might have something from a future content update ready, or like in earlier phases of testing that they just decide to push out early, like maybe something with diving or mining that they're just, oh, it's actually ready now, let's just put it out, right? So that can change. There could be other things they hold back because it's not quite quite ready yet. This roadmap was just to give like a general idea of what to expect. It could even end up being that there aren't the 10 different content updates. There could be more, there could be less. We won't know until it happens, and that's one of the things I love so much about this process is it's so exciting. There are so many surprises for us. So I think that covers all the relevant information we have access to right now that can help us kind of speculate on when we can see Coral Island fully released by. Regardless of when this game reaches its full version, it's going to be amazing. It already is amazing, and I can't wait to just continue playing it and discovering every new thing that's added with each update. Let me know in the comments if you think Coral Island is going to be coming out this year in 2023, or if you think it may be sometime next year in 2024. Anything and everything, you know I always love hearing from you in the comments. Once again, Happy New Year. Thank you for all of the support on the channel. It's honestly only going to continue getting better and better from here. I always say this, the best is yet to come for both Coral Island and the channel. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care. And a very special thanks to Meredith, Formotus, Tansy, Cisco, Cheese, Coons, Divine Raven, and Magic, my beautiful Sunstone members. I love you all very much, and thank you so much for the extra support, which really helps to make all that I do on this channel possible and means the world to me.